dropping shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent. Niggas is broke.
So the Boston Celtics are now in the Eastern Conference Finals after playing a hard-fought 7 games against the Washington Wizards, and now they have a meeting with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, a lot of people have been saying that the Celtics will get swept, and you know what? I don't blame them. The vulnerabilities that Boston has shown. I mean, I see where they're coming from, but I disagree. Now, I know, here comes the Boston guy saying his team will beat the Cavs. No, I do not think the Celtics will win this series, in my heart of hearts. But I am 80% sure that this series will not be a 4-game series. The Celtics have been playing too good to simply just be swept by LeBron and the Cavs. Now, I know what you're saying. The Cavs faced a Hawks team in 2015 that won more games than Boston and also had the first seed and swept them in his first year back. Again, I get where y'all are coming from. I respect it. But also in that same year, the Cavs faced the Celtics in the first round. And yes, they did sweep the Celtics. Don't get me wrong. But if you watched every single game of that series, each game was close, considering the fact that IT was a mid-season acquisition and the Celtics shouldn't have even made the playoffs. And also in all 4 of those games, they were close up until the 4th quarter, where the Celtics and Isaiah simply ran out of power against the Cavs. So back then, when the Celtics had no business in even playing in the playoffs, nonetheless against the Cavs, with their best player being a mid-season acquisition and an experienced crew around him, they got swept. But each game was competitive up until the 4th quarter. And now, here we are 2 years later. Isaiah Thomas has matured and has uplifted himself to superstar status. They added Al Horford, which you can laugh all you want, but his impact on this team is huge. Marcus Smart has finally found and accepted his role. Avery Bradley has established himself as the best defensive guard in the league and as a guy who can give you 24 on any given night. Jae Crowder is a little bit more of a threat now, and Brad Stevens has established himself as one of the best coaches in the league. Meanwhile, the Cavs, relatively speaking again, have only added Kyle Korver and Channing Frye and Darren Williams and improved their chemistry. Now, as I say all of this, please let me reiterate that I still do not have the Celtics winning this series. At the end of the day, they went to 7 games against a team with no bench and 2 All-Stars. Now they're going up against a team with 3 All-Stars, one of them being arguably, keyword arguably, the greatest of all time, and a bench loaded with shooters. I just don't see the Celtics, even with as much faith as I have in them, beating this team 4 times in the next 7 games. But at the same time, I just cannot see this team being swept. I just can't. And even just going off of this year, the Celtics at home have the 2nd highest points per game, only behind Cleveland. Have the 3rd highest field goal percentage, behind Cleveland and OKC. Have the 2nd most assists per game, only behind Golden State. Average the 5th lowest amount of turnovers, 6th in blocks. I mean, I can keep going on and on. The Celtics are simply a deadly team at home and have all the means of being a threat to Cleveland, at least at home. Now on the road, the Celtics are booty cheeks, I'll give you that. But with 3 of the first 5 games being in Boston, I just don't see the Celtics losing the first 2 games at home. I just don't. I could see them splitting it 1-1 because the Cavs are still that good, but sweep? I'm good with that cheese. I'm good. Now, after the Game 7 win on Monday, I immediately saw people on my Twitter timeline telling me, great, now you guys get swept by the Cavs. Downplaying what the Celtics have done this season. I'm sorry, but if I could have a time machine back to the beginning of the season when people were making their Eastern Conference predictions, most people had the Celtics at 3, behind the Raptors and the Cavs, and losing in either the 2nd round or the Eastern Conference Finals. So fast forward to now, the Celtics got the 1st seed and got out the first 2 rounds, already exceeding some of the expectations set by some people, and are in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2012. Honestly, unless you're a hater, what is there to complain about? They met their expectations. If anything, they exceeded it. The Celtics are in the Eastern Conference Finals. What else do y'all want? How is them not beating the Cavs a failure when that was never expected from them until now apparently. Just the fact that they are there makes this season a success regardless of how they play, because what this does is establish Isaiah as one of the best players in the league, establishes Al's contract as somewhat valid, validates Danny Ainge as a GM, and Brad Stevens as a coach. And going into the offseason, expect Danny Ainge to go all in, especially if the Celtics can push the Cavs to 6 games, because if that happens, it means the Celtics are literally one piece away from being real championship contenders. Not like Toronto Raptors, you know what I mean? Not like what they are right now. Real championship contenders. And expect guys like Gordon Hayward, Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Blake Griffin, and other free agents of that caliber to really consider the Celtics as a new destination if they want to win now. Because what you have is a group of guys who have the money to go out there and sign you and compete with these other teams, with great role players that will hustle and die for you, with a superstar in Isaiah Thomas, with a great coach in Brad Stevens, that have proven that they can compete with the best of the best without you. And with you on the team, anything is possible. Even dethroning LeBron's soon-to-be 7-year streak of getting to the finals. It's going to be one hell of an offseason again like last year, man, with big names going to different places. Believe that. Hey, man, to close this video out, this is all I have to say about the Celtics. People told Isaiah Thomas he couldn't make it to the league. He's now a borderline superstar. A superstar in some eyes. People told the Celtics they couldn't sign free agents. They were on KD's final 3 and they signed Al Horford. People told the Celtics they couldn't get the #1 seed. They got the #1 seed. People told the Celtics they couldn't get past the first round. They got past the first round. And let me just say, if the Bulls are that clueless without Rondo in this stage of his career, and if they're trying to win a championship with that team, they do not deserve to make it out the first round. So I don't want to hear that excuse. People told the Celtics they wouldn't stand a chance against the Wizards. They beat them in 7 games. And people are now already counting out the Celtics against the Cavs. Hey, I ain't saying they're gonna win. I ain't saying anything of that caliber. But a sweep? This team is too good for that. They're literally playing with no pressure right now, with nothing to lose. And one of the scariest things in sports is playing a team with nothing to lose, because pressure does not exist. And if it so happens that the pressure does arise, they have Mr. Fourth Quarter on their side. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I am out. Peace.